the long analog fade. So you're this equipment, you're able to sort of get new things in there, and you're almost forced to improvise at points, aren't you?
Yeah, I guess the improvising is mostly on the sound. The patterns are pretty well set. I've got a pretty good cheat sheet here as well.
Yeah, because it's the beauty of analog synths, or analog equipment, is you can never quite replicate that sound twice.
Yeah.
So is that the biggest joy of making this sort of music?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost what is the biggest barrier for me with recording. I'm far more keen to be playing sets than trying to record anything in a sort of set. I don't know, put it in a box and that's it, because it comes out different every time I play a set, and that's a lot more fun for me.
Yeah.
A lot less daunting anyway.
So is it easier playing in front of people?
I mean, I guess it's more Ursula than me, so easier than the talking, yeah.
Well, easier than just sitting in a room trying to figure things out.
Yeah, I guess I've been comfortable on empty dance floors for a long time, and that's been super helpful in being able to play a set that maybe isn't received as well as I want, but some people are into it, and that's always enough.
We're sitting there undulating themselves, sort of internally going, wow. Yeah, it's really good to hear the sort of, I wouldn't necessarily call it vintage, but the sort of electronic music that was huge in the late 90s, and, where people were suddenly getting access to this equipment and were actually having a lot of fun and getting signed to labels like Warp and so on. So was that the sort of music you grew up on? Or?
Yeah, I guess late 80s techno was where I got started, mostly Detroit stuff. And then I got a lot of joy out of getting into disco for a while there. A lot of tech heads are pretty, it's a deal breaker for some people. But it did help me to, I guess, embrace the groove in techno, and mostly techno.
And you can be the entire orchestra with the whole disco thing as well, which turning disco into techno is, a lot of fun. All right, more. That's the sort of music you can get lost in really, really easily.
Yeah, I feel pretty lost a lot of the time. Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you compose it for specific rooms, for specific places, or if you've got a gig coming up, do you think, okay, I need something that's going to work in this particular venue? Or
I guess a lot of the time, most of the sets I play, I'm booked as like a dance floor performance, I guess in place of a DJ a lot of the time, which is fun. I do really like playing dance floor type music, but I really appreciate playing slightly less foot to the floor, easy to headbang to, more sound-based stuff, which has been real excellent. Being involved with Mesh, the first gig that we played was just a proper experimental electronic lineup, and there aren't many gigs that go on in Wellington where you can get booked as an electronic musician and not be expected to take the place of a DJ. There are a lot of people making cool stuff. There just aren't enough regular performances going on, I think.
Outlets for music that works for the head as opposed to the body.
Well, I think it's nice to kind of learn to groove to some less easy, less obvious stuff. If you're in a comfortable space, I think you can kind of do that.
Just undulate and just enjoy where the music takes you. And it gives you more time as well, I suspect, to get lost in something that isn't so regular and isn't so repetitive. Yeah. So do you spend hours and hours and hours just playing with the equipment?
Yeah, heaps of hours. Not heaps of hours composing for sets to be performed. Most of it's just trying to free up some space in my mind by working it out through this stuff. I guess set prep, I kind of just go back through a backlog of a bunch of stuff that I've been working on and just pick out the stuff that's least scattered, the easiest to kind of put together.
Yeah. So it is kind of like Lego, really.
Yeah.
in a very, cerebral way as such. So recording an album or recording an EP, you're not really tempted to do that, are you?
Oh, I mean, it would be really nice, but I don't have any of those computer skills yet, and recording this straight into a computer sounds not as nice as it does through speakers, and I'm not super happy with... I guess if you're just doing live takes into a computer and you're doing a 10-minute live take, it's hard to get that 10 minutes to be right the first time. And I understand there are much easier ways to go about doing that, but I haven't gotten there yet. maybe never. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like playing live.
And there is that one thing where you're playing live, your ears are telling you exactly what's happening, but then suddenly you put it out there and it's playing on other people's speakers and you don't have control over that.
Yeah, I guess the variances and the stuff ups make sense when I'm in a space, and they make less sense when it's recorded and I can pick it apart, I guess.
Yeah, and you can also probably read the room in terms of what the room is doing to the sounds that you're making.
Yeah, I mean, I do my best, but hard to do, hard to tell. Yeah. I've played a lot of sets that have been, the room has been very split. So,
okay. Yeah. Oh well, that's a shame.
It's okay. If someone's enjoying it, that's real cool.
That's
and I mean,
cool.
I'm going to have a nice time listening to big speakers anyway. So.
Yeah, we're definitely having a nice time here. Yes, Active Live, brought to you by NZ On Air. I think we need another track from Ursula. Listen. Yay. Thank you very much, Ursula Listen. This has been Active Live.
Thanks for having me.
Every week, a new band. Brought to you by NZ On Air. Active Live! Yeah.
Often credited with being